Drilling combinations is a useful tool. It helps build up your belly dance vocabulary, your phrases, so you can actually communicate better. In this video, I'm looking specifically at drills that look at transitions for body parts or shapes. Hi, I'm Kashmir, and in my last video I looked at a general overview for drilling combinations. In this video I want to get down to the nitty-gritty, and specifically I want to look at drilling for transitions between body parts or transitions between shapes with the same body part. Let's get into it. So let's say that we're going to look at drilling your class with something quite simple. So let's say that a beginner class, I've only been going for a few weeks. Keep the combinations simple. You don't want to have to spend their time thinking about what next comes next, so just a few moves. If necessary, if you've got a whiteboard, write it up on the whiteboard. That can help, but then of course they're actually doing this. They do need to get into their body. So usually for combinations, I will do it several times for them to get the hang of it, although I've got to turn around and actually watch them. I can see them in the mirror. If I'm watching them in the mirror though, sometimes my own combinations go a bit weird. So you've got to get them. Sometimes you'll have someone who picks things up really fast, stick them in the front, and then you can go in and actually watch and see what everyone else is doing. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that before you do the combinations, they must have done the technique, okay? So a combination is not the place to introduce new technique. It's a place to refine it. It's a place to, like I said, do all the transitions, work in that, but it's not the place to teach. So you don't do a combination with a figure eight until they've had some time working on a figure eight and they know how it goes. The other thing with combinations is that they shouldn't be random. Don't just grab anything. They should fit together and make a pleasing whole. So a combination, even 8 or 16 counts, should be a little jewel of a dance in itself. So it should look nice, and it should also fit with what you are teaching. So often I'll use a combination to reinforce a move that we've been drilling. So they've drilled it, the move's looking nice. Now let's throw that in and just get them to approach it from a slightly different angle. Also, sometimes when they've been concentrating on a move, they'll get tighter and tighter and tighter. I find this particularly with shoulder shimmies. They're working so hard at getting that perfect shoulder shimmy. You think, okay, you tell them to relax, it doesn't do anything. Okay, take them away and get them doing something else that has a shoulder shimmy in it. Suddenly they're thinking about what their feet are doing or what comes next, and their shoulder shimmy just flows out. Also, consider when you put your combination together whether or not it will finish so you can start again on the opposite side. So most of my combinations, I must admit, end up starting on the opposite side. And remember, to change sides, you have to skip a beat or put 2 in. So you do your 16 counts and then you do it on that side. That way you actually balance it up. The downside of it is, then they get to do their first choreography or their improvisation. You sit there and go, oh God, no, they've done it on the left and now they've done it on the right. So you don't want them to get to dance like that. So you need to mix it up a little bit. So sometimes I'll have a combination that works only on the one side. We'll do so many repetitions, stop, and we'll do it on the other side so we actually get to do it. And sometimes too, if there's direction changes, you don't want to actually doing them alternatively. Because sometimes the direction changes, you really have to actually repeat something like one of those circles where you actually go, and you do a 180. If you keep changing clockwise, anti-clockwise, it's really hard to actually get it. You've given your class your combination and away they're going. You put your track on. One track's usually enough for most combinations, and you think, oh yeah, okay, now those two really need to keep, the reason why you're drilling it to improve the smoothness of it and the transitions of it. But those two still need to work on it. But the rest of the class, really, they have got it. Are they sitting here wasting their time? Well, if you just leave them to it, they probably will be. But you can do all sorts of other things. You can, for example, start playing with the timing. You guys just say what you're doing, but I want one big slow loop and a quick one. Or I want one slow figure eight, two fast ones, and then carry on with the combination. So you can do that sort of thing. It's probably a little bit too complicated to actually have the class doing different sides, but you can make some things which are quite easy to do. For example, add arms. Even experienced dancers who think they've got some combo off hat, and you suddenly give them a moving arm. Obviously not just so you've got an arm movement to go with it. One that actually smears across the counts is really good for an experienced dancer. But for beginners, let's just keep it on the counts. You add the arm movement, and suddenly everything else goes. So that's one that you can add, and one that I often see that they need to do, because arms are something that most people are a little bit shonky on. And the easy one, of course, standing from the back of the room, add a shimmy. They get to know that one. But like I said, you're doing it for repetition. You want to actually get that into your head. So because you're doing that, you need to make sure that the repetition is accurate, that the repetition is good. So the other thing to watch for is if either they haven't got the underlying technique, or they haven't got the combination, or they haven't got the transition, or they just haven't got the combination, is to stop and correct. If necessary, turn the music off. Okay, everyone, remember that this is where the transition goes. It goes here at the side, or the weight goes over here. Remember when we're doing a circle, it's flat. So all these sort of things, so they're not actually drilling in bad technique. So it's important to stop. It's important to correct. So sometimes you can just go up to one person who might know what the issue is. Needs to be a bit flatter. Lift up at the front. You've dropped your pelvis again. So to keep that in mind as well. So which brings me to the other one, which is posture. Make sure that the posture is still good. When you start moving, that's often when the posture goes. So again, with some people it can be quite simple. You're leaning back, a little poke sometimes is enough. Keep those knees soft. People lock their legs back. So keep an eye on that. Again, drilling is repeating. So if you drill something for 3 minutes badly, it's going to take you 6 minutes to get back to where you were before. So don't drill bad technique. I want to spend a reasonable amount of time looking at drilling weight transitions. So I'm going to actually start a new video for that, and that will be next week. In the meantime, I'm sure you have plenty to go on with. Now, if you have tried this, or you have your own way of drilling body part transitions, put it down below and share it with everyone else. Until next week, happy drilling.